Welcome back, my homies. Welcome back, squad. How you doing? I'm doing good. Doing really good. Great, actually. And in this picture, in this motion picture, I'm working with artificial intelligence. I'm working with AI. AI. Artificial freaking intelligence, dude. So no, I did not craft that picture. I typed in a few buttons on Midjourney to get that image right there. And I thought it looked dope. I really like her headpiece. I like the bat ear looking, or like anubis, jackal. Not sure what animal it is, but that headpiece that she has, it's made to look like some kind of animal, like dog ears. They're sticking straight up. I also like Batman. And I thought that looked, I just love that shape, and I like her colors, but I have to get rid of the background. I have to get rid of it. I can't keep the foreground and the background. When you're working with AI art, when you're doing digital alchemy like I'm doing, which is to say experimental digital art, you have to, what's that phrase? Murder your darlings? I was going to say murder your babies, but I can't believe that's a phrase people use, murder your darlings. You have to get rid of some of the things that, how do I put this? You got to make sacrifices when you're working with art. Some of the things that you think look dope have to be gotten rid of, especially if you didn't even make yours. Like I said, I didn't make that picture right there. I generated that. And so I really can't take too much pride in that picture alone. I've got to cut some things out. When I work with digital alchemy, and when I use AI, I've said this in other videos, and I keep saying it, but I like to include at least 3 different images per collage. So this is collage work, as you're about to see, right? I had that one picture, and now I'm going to put in another picture, and I'm going to try to incorporate this into the overall, right? But when you're using AI, just having one picture, if you generate one picture and you post it, that has no value because you didn't do anything. Even if you made minor adjustments, you pretty much didn't do anything. If you can combine 2 images in an artistic way, then you can begin to reach towards some type of artistic value. But it really takes at least 3 different images combined, in my opinion, to start to get to the point where you have like a real, somewhat of an original piece. So no less than 3 source images. That being said, I think 5 is the best. I think 5 is ideal. And in this picture, I don't end up having 5, but I'm also just having fun. Art today is almost meaningless. It has almost no value because it's so ubiquitous. It's so everywhere, and we kind of take it for granted. And so these days, I just have fun, and I try to make something novel and unique and enjoy the passion behind it. I like to feel that burning furnace in my gut while I'm making artwork. And if you don't have fun while you're making art, what are you doing? I was thinking last night, I made this last night, by the way. I made this less than 24 hours ago. Made this probably less than 12 hours ago. That's how I like to do it. I like to get it hot off the press and just put it into publish it on social media right away. Some people like to hoard their art and they never post it, and for whatever reason. But I like to do it right away, immediately. And AI really helps increase the rate of production here. I'm being honest. I used to do this with photographs, right? So this process, this really slow, grueling process that we're looking at right now, This is something I used to do with pictures, like photographs, because collage artwork started off. Anybody who's ever done collage artwork prior to the phenomenon of AI, they used photographs or things they found in magazines or like, pictures they took on their own. But there are websites where you can buy stock photography, or you can just download free, royalty-free stock photography and use it however you want. And so I would do that and make collage work out of it. I don't know what drew me to collage, but I don't know. Sometimes I think collage isn't even real art because you have to combine things that already existed. Like I didn't actually make anything. I didn't actually manifest anything from the spiritual plane. I didn't actually use my technical skills to build something, to craft something from the ether and translate it into physical reality. In other words, I didn't draw anything. But now I realize that creativity is more broad than just, can I draw a face or can I draw this form and am I a great technical drawer? I think that's an amazing skill. And perhaps in another lifetime, I honed and developed that skill. Perhaps in another lifetime, I went to art school, or I became a nurse, or I was a lieutenant in the army. Not in this lifetime. In this lifetime, I am waiting for my tea to cool, and I'm speaking into this microphone about a picture that I made last night with AI art collage. I never thought that would be the kind of artist that I am, but that's okay. You don't have to be what they expect, and you don't even have to be what you expect. Some people do know from a very early age that they're going to be a doctor or they're going to be something, this, that, or the third. I always knew I would be an artist. I always knew it, and I still am. And the more I grow, the more I realize that art is freaking awesome if you get money for it. Like if I even just got like, I don't know, like 1 million views on YouTube a month and like got some serious passive income that way, that'd be dope. And that is something I'll manifest for this 2025. And it's New Year's Eve, by the way. Today is New Year's Eve. It's December 31st, 2024. So tomorrow, I'm going to start chipping away at that 1 million views per month. But the point is that I'm seeing how passion once again comes in first place. I need to have passion. And the money doesn't really matter. It does matter. Like I couldn't even make this art without money because I got to pay for Midjourney and my iPad and the internet and electricity and had to buy my Apple Pencil and all that and the microphone and the equipment, and I'm using my time as well. Time is very valuable. I could probably be doing this, doing something more financially responsible right now than making a YouTube video on my iPad. But it's about the passion. So all that time and money spent, the passion is worth every bit of it. There's so much art today, like I've been saying, that we are the artists of the world. We have to redefine ourselves as artists. We have to review our relationship to art and to our muse, into the art community and the art world and what it means to create. And in part, I say this because of AI. AI has changed everything. It has opened up doors and it has closed doors. And it has changed things. Better, worse. I'm not looking at it in terms of better or worse. It's easy to take an extreme opinion. And when we do that, we can, we polarize our audience. We divide our audience because so many people are divided in their opinion about, is AI art right or wrong? Hey, all I know is that it's probably not going anywhere. And that it is a phenomenon. And you can either work with it or avoid it or, have whatever kind of opinion you want. But I'm going to work with it. I used to hate it. But now I don't hate it anymore. Part of me actually hates it. A little part of me hates it. And a little part of me resents myself for using it because I think, it's cheap. But then I remember that I'm having fun. And it's not like I was making a lot of money or any money with my artwork before anyway. I think I had one good year in my life. 2016, I was making I was making like a sale or two every single day in the fall, like the later part of 2016. It was a crazy it's such an interesting time in my life. I was on a road trip around the country, and I was operating the Mind Blossom from my phone and laptop at different coffee shops, and I was making like a sale a day, a print or two a day. And sometimes I would make like $100 a day. And I couldn't believe what was happening. That was like my hipster dream, to be working out of coffee shops, selling my artwork online, and living in a, a sedan. No, it was an SUV. And like, that was dope. It didn't last forever. And now I don't have anything going on with Etsy. Etsy ain't what it used to be. The Mind Blossom ain't what it used to be. It all changes. It all changes. And when we look back in the past, nostalgia, these memories, they burn us up from the inside. That's the cost that's the fine that we must pay if we wish to access these memories. If we wish to open the vaults of nostalgia, it will burn you up from the inside, and you'll get a certain pleasure from that. But it will be, it will cost you. Nostalgia has a way of, has a depressive effect. Now, I spent the last 10 minutes talking about that, but I do want to draw attention to the fact that I have 3 pieces in this collage. The woman with the really cool Egyptian headpiece, and I added that panther to her face. Something that if you've been following my work for any length of time, you probably have noticed that I do a lot of animal human being fusions. In particular, I like to add work with the faces. I combine animal faces with people faces, and I love lightning too. Lightning is the dopest natural phenomenon. It is stunning, frightening, and amazing. And it sends holy information from the astral plane to the earth plane, from the spiritual realm down to the earth realm. Each bolt of lightning, each clap of thunder is another message sent from the gods. And goddesses, and gods and goddesses are pretty much, in my opinion, not hermaphroditic, because I don't think that's the right word. We're not using that word. They are gender, they're all genders. The gods transcend gender. The gods, as far as I know, I think they transcend gender. And yet I think they lean towards the more masculine or feminine polarity, which is to say the yin versus the yang. A god like Odin, for example, probably has more yang energy, I want to say, is more masculine. But a goddess like Lilith, which is really, she's probably not a human. She's not a woman probably like we think she, like, how am I trying to say this? She's not like an earthly woman. Her femininity transcends our 3-dimensional understanding of gender and sex. And yet, I don't want to talk too much about Lilith because I don't really know her like that. And I don't want to name drop the gods. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to refrain from doing that. This is just my opinion. None of this is medical advice. None of this is financial advice. Everything is entertainment. We're drowning in entertainment this year of 2024. We're drowning in entertainment. Everywhere we look, we are forced to be entertained. And entertainment is cheap, and it's easy, and it's everywhere. That's how you should be. No, you should be suspicious of something. It's how, like Celsius, for example, the energy drink. It tastes so good, and it rocks my world, and it's everywhere. How can something so awesome be everywhere at once, so widely accessible and affordable? That makes me wonder: is it actually good for me? Same thing with like pornography. It's everywhere. It's even on Instagram, pretty much. Like Instagram is getting way more pornographic than ever before. To the point where I have to go in and like manually click on my homepage and my feed and say I don't want to see stuff like this anymore, because I think it has a way of distorting your mind. I think porn has a way of distorting your mind in very subtle ways. The process of distortion begins slowly, but it increases in the development of that distortion and perversion accelerates over time. I think there are forces in our universe who benefit from the distortion of human beings and the suffering that comes with that distortion. I don't know why exactly. I don't know what the benefits are. I don't know why these forces, how they benefit from the distortion of human beings, but I think they do. You could call them demons, but I think demon is more of a slang term. There are primordial forces, primordial living archetypes of energy that far outdate, that have been here long before time ever existed, who represent a sort of antithesis to the universe at large. God is not really, we say that God is synonymous with the universe, but God is more like the light, and God's opposite is that which lurks in the darkness. And some people like to venture into that darkness and make beauty out of that which would otherwise be considered horrifying or perverted. In the darkness, you will find horrifying things that have been kind of expelled from our conscious awareness. And some people like to go there and find out what's going on. And they develop a taste for those things which they discover in the darkness, and they want more of it. And before too long, they have an appetite only for that which lurks in the darkness. And everything that comes from the light, they don't have a taste for it anymore. This picture right here might appeal to some of those people I'm talking about. Am I one such person? Perhaps. Yeah, I find beauty in darkness. But I also find beauty in light. Balance is all. Balance is everything. Balance is everything. I can appreciate the shadows. I can appreciate the light. I don't look at one and the other and say this one's better than that. They each have their time, and they each have their place. Too much darkness without light, and it's just fear. Too much light without darkness, and it's just unbearable. The unbearable weight of divinity. Love can be so oppressive. There's a force in the universe, the highest force, the highest vibration of all, love. We don't really know love like that, though. I don't have kids, but I think the most intense feeling of love that we can get here on earth is if we have children. I think that's the closest we can get to unconditional love. And even then, I don't know if that's really unconditional love, like in the cosmic sense. Maybe it is. There's a love that is so powerful that it forces you to release everything, to let go of everything. You have to surrender to this love. You have no other choice. Psychedelics have a way of bringing you there. Psychedelic substances have a way of bringing people in closer proximity, or in more resonance, greater union with that love, which is always flowing through us, but we block ourselves from receiving it. We put up barriers between ourselves and unconditional cosmic love because it's so intense. It's hard to live that way in our society because we have a pretty conflict-based society built on competition and the contrast between ourselves and others. And if you want to play that game, the name of the game is, no love. Let's limit the amount of love we experience because I want to be better than you. We all want to be better than each other in some way. And when we build a society and a culture on vertical relationships with each other, where I'm above you in some way and you might be better than me in this way or that way, it's all competition. And that's fine. But in order to play that game, you've got to sacrifice some love. You've got to want to be better than somebody. But if you did it in reverse and you put love on top always, then the concept of competition would be meaningless. We simply wouldn't care. It would just evaporate. We wouldn't pay any attention to it. And so it would just go away. Like a memory, like a dream that we forget about completely. And so the game we play requires us to wean off the love a little bit. Let's not love each other too much, right? Because it's going to spoil this game that we have. But at the end of the day, that's all there is. That's all there is. Love is growth. Love is evolution. Love is change. Love is chaos. Chaos saves us from the monotony of eternal, prolonged, homogeneous nothingness. Chaos can save you, and it can destroy you. All right, so don't try to get one up on chaos. It's better if you let it exist and you respect it and you love it and you're enthusiastic about it and you hold your own. You don't have to let chaos will make you its bitch. So you have to show your self-respect too. You don't have to let yourself get tossed around, but you should let yourself be flexible. Now, in this painting right now, you can't call it a painting. The background was really, really saturated, like extra blue. So I had to desaturate it because generally I like the background to be less saturated than the foreground, which is our figure here. And we're calling this picture Banshee. I'm pretty sure this might be a recurring character in my work. In my work, in the digital alchemy universe, there's a character named Judith. Queen Judith was dethroned. She was stripped of all rights and titles for destroying a universe, which is a no-no. But she did it anyway, for her pleasure and for amusement, and for whatever motives. She's an ultra-terrestrial, and we can't comprehend her motives. But Judith, one of my characters, this is her youngest sister, Banshee. Banshee summons lightning, as you can see. For what reason? I don't know. Mainly to shock and astonish people, and to destroy your enemies. But we're not going to get into all that. I don't really know the depth of this. I don't know the whole plot. I don't know the whole backstory. I'm making it up on a fly. And that's just how it has to be sometimes. I like to work faster than I do like to work slow. I don't like to get bogged down in analysis paralysis, where my mind becomes too active. A very active mind, a very discerning mind, an overly active brain, logical process during the artwork process is not that great. You want your mind to be active, and you want your logic to be in place, but not too much. Otherwise, you're going to be correcting yourself, and you won't have anything. It's very possible to exercise all the magic out of a work of art by being too demanding and trying to correct yourself along the way. Just get it all out, make something messy, and then go back and clean it up if you can. It's always about balance. Still about that rational brain balanced with the creative brain. I went to drink my tea and I almost swallowed the tea bag. That was disgusting. That tasted like an organic lump inside of my mug that I put into my mouth. I would rather not do that again. I will never do that again. 2025, I'm never swallowing my tea bag again. What's your resolution? It's not about what you add to your life. It's about what you let go. The blessings flow naturally, and whether or not you receive them depends on if you can remove your barriers. You can't go after the miracles, the blessings. They're already flowing towards you. There's no such thing as going after them. You just release the barriers between you and them. Pretty much that's letting go of fear, letting go of shame, letting go of guilt, letting go of pride, letting go of the need to be right, the need to be funny. Oh God, let go of that. Please, for your own sake, let go of the need to be the funny person. I had to struggle with that for years, and I still do. But you gotta let go of that. Let go of your need to be liked and adored. Let go of all of these things. And yet, you still gotta show up. You can't just expect to wake up and have a miracle land in your lap every day. It does, in the form of life itself, and you gotta meet life halfway. You know what I mean? You've got to meet the synchronicities halfway. You've got to use the miracles once they present themselves to you. Be an active participant in the game. And life will follow you, right? It will follow suit. The gods are waiting for you to make the first move. And they will be there for you. You got to show respect. The people on the left-hand path of spirituality, which in modern today's Western occult ferment that we see on TikTok and YouTube and all that, we have this thing about the left-hand path, which is like going towards extreme taboo and extreme individualism to the point of eventually becoming a god. But there's a part in that process that really gets left out. Like, okay, exploring taboo and extreme individualism onto the point of godhood. There's a big gap between our earthly self and that godhood. That seems like a big step is missing. But I digress. We'll talk more about the left-hand path at another time. The left-hand path. Going the path of darkness. Embracing one's demons. Seeking them out even. And controlling them. Putting your foot on their neck and using them for your will. Respecting them all the same, but asserting yourself as the alpha predator above the demons that you harbor within, so that they do your bidding. This is what people consider the left-hand path. But the demons know if you are actually powerful. They know if you're being legit or if you're actually weak inside. And the truth is that pretty much all of us have some kind of weakness within. So I don't really mess with the left-hand path like that. You know what I mean? A lot of people call themselves gods, but, they don't act like gods. A lot of people call themselves kings and queens, but they don't act like kings and queens. It matters not. It matters not. All that really matters is will you open your heart? It doesn't matter. You're okay. You will be a god one day. You're the king of your kingdom. You're the queen of your kingdom. You're the monarch. You travel through space and time. You achieve every single one of your dreams. Your consciousness knows no limits. But can you open your heart? Doesn't matter what job you have, how much money you have. Can you open your heart? Can you open it all at once, or will you have to strip layer after layer away from it? Or will you have to force your heart open? If we don't open our heart, the world will open it for us by breaking it. Breaks off piece by piece. We have to take the shell off around our heart so that we can expose the light and receive the light. When we look at the tarot cards, we see reflections of ourselves, and one that I return to is the magician. The magician is receiving energy, but they're also transmitting energy. We're always receiving frequencies, and we're giving out frequencies as well. And the thing is, what we give out and what we receive are the same. They both match each other. So if you're holding on to a thought form, everything that you give out is going to resonate with the thought form that you're holding. So if I'm holding the thought form of being a really loving, content person who's enthusiastic about everything I do in life, every step I take, then I'm going to radiate that energy. But as soon as I switch and I pick a different thought form to keep within myself, everything I do on the external side is going to reflect that. So, and also whatever thought forms you're keeping, that's what you're going to attract. Thought forms have an electromagnetic property. They magnetize and they give out. They magnetize things that are similar to them, and they resonate these frequencies, these waves of energy out into space and time, and other things that are like them get attracted. So they coagulate together, and the thought form grows and grows and grows. And so when you meet somebody and there's something about them that you don't like, what it really is they have a thought form within them that matches the one that you have in some way. Because whatever you have and whatever they have are magnetizing. So when you don't like that person, realize that you magnetized it to you. And now it's your job to accept it and decide, okay, in some way that is a reflection of me, and I'm going to pay attention to how I resemble those traits, those same traits in that person who I don't like, that thing they're doing. How do I do that? In what ways do I do that thing? In 2025, I'm going to be grateful, and I'm going to let go. And I'm going to be enthusiastic, and I'm going to remember to choose love. I'm going to keep working on this art too, and I'm going to keep using AI art, and whatever. Screw it. Art is art, man. We are in the new Wild West. They got NFTs, they got thousands of print-on-demand sites, they've got Instagram. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just freestyling at this point. We're saturated in every possible way to the point of meaninglessness. And so all I can do now is be true to myself and just Follow the passion. I don't want to rely on TikTok to make me feel alive. I don't want to receive, I don't want to be addicted to the dopamine waterfall. So I just let go. I'm going to go to the gym. Today I'm going to work out my back. I'm going to do back exercises because yesterday I did chest, so now I'm going to balance the front and the back. I'm all about balance. And this is Banshee, the youngest sister of the former Queen Judith. Damn, I got 4 minutes left on this video. I gotta start recording these as I make them and not afterwards. When it's harder to record them, I gotta figure out a way to record myself while I'm painting. I don't know. I don't know if AI art will ever be accepted by the world. I kind of think it will, though. But even if it is not accepted, then, oh well. That's part of the reason why I don't really try to go to shows anymore, is because I use AI, and I don't want everybody asking me, is this AI? And I don't know. Yeah, I use it. So what? You like it or you don't. That's why I feel better on the internet, because it's there, and I'm not I don't need anybody to buy it. I'm just showing it, and whoever likes it, they like it. And if they have something snarky to say, they can go ahead and say it. But I don't need to go back and forth with anybody online. It just can be what it can be. That'll be great. And I'm not going to worry about... I have the luxury of letting this be just a force of the mind blossom. Just the mind blossom is what it is. If it makes money, awesome, like it did in 2016. If not, okay. Well, it's not my main source of income. I have a job. I am a case manager for refugees, and I make sure that they get Medicaid and food stamps. And I call their landlord when the maintenance workers don't show up. And I drop off Christmas presents to their house. And I answer their texts. And we don't speak the same language, so I use Google Translator. And it's all day back and forth. But even that's not forever. Thank God. No disrespect, but I just can't do that forever. I'm just not built for it. I'm built to do this for a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to fly away like a raven in the night. In other news, I got my master's degree this year. After 5 years, 2019 I started. And I got it this year. December 14th, they bestowed upon me my master's degree, which I earned after so many blocks in the road and turning left so many times and dropping out of school and then getting back in school. It's in mental health counseling, by the way. So I'm going to be a mental health counselor. I've already been an intern. I've already done case management and youth mentoring and counseling with families and teenagers and adults and kids and everybody. I've worked with a huge, very broad gamut of people, but that's my degree. And in 2025, I'll keep you updated about what happens. So if you didn't know that, I'm a counselor. I'm an artist and a counselor. And if you don't know, I have a Patreon too. So this video I'm going to make public. This is a public video. Putting it on YouTube. And then I have more videos that I put on Patreon. And on Patreon, I also show videos that are exclusive to only Patreon, and I show my work there early. So as soon as I finish a picture or my progress shots of an image, I'll put it up on Patreon. Sometimes I'll post random stuff and just videos of me talking and my ideas. And some of the stuff that I put on there, some of the images, I never share anywhere else. Just maybe because they don't match my style, or they were like They came out of nowhere. They don't really match the rest of my portfolio. So it's not like Patreon gets the gutter of all like the leftovers. It's unique. It's a unique glimpse into the digital alchemy laboratory. It's a glimpse of exclusive content to see what's going on in my brain. Not everything. I don't expose you to the horrors of my mind. But you get a glimpse. All right? Everybody, thank you for joining me on this trip, on this journey. I'm excited for 2025. I'm grateful for the love in my life. I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful for the Mind Blossom. I'm grateful for love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.